Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, January 20th. It's 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly. So just a few more things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. A few more things here. And I think we are good to go. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, looks good. All right, so I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And then we will get started shortly. All right, so let's see who's here so far. Morning, Kenny. Morning, everybody. Happy Friday, guys. Today's Friday, January 20th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's going to open in about 8 minutes. So I'll give a few moments for people to continue making their way in, and then we'll get started with our analysis shortly. Let's see who else is here. Morning, Will. Morning, Maria. Morning, Karen. Morning, Peter. Morning, everybody. Yeah, hopefully everyone had a great week so far. I mean, I don't think we've had any losses this week, right? So it's been pretty solid. Morning, Gary. Morning, everybody. We have some news coming up as well today, or we had news that just passed, I believe. So I'll check that as well to see if there's anything here to look out for. I'll mark it up on the charts. Let's got one other place to post this up, and I think we're good to go to kick off our analysis. So I'll just wait a few more moments for people to make their way in. Looks like about half of you guys are here so far. All right. Post this on our page real quick. All right, looks good. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. Let's see who else is here. Hey, AR, how's it going? Morning. Happy Friday. All right, so it looks like pretty much more than half of you guys are here so far. So let's start off with our analysis for this morning. As I mentioned, there was news this morning, so let me check our 1 minute real quick. So for this morning, we had news over here at 6 o'clock. So, well, it's not really news, it's Fed member Harker speaking. So Fed member Harker just started speaking like about 20 minutes ago. We have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock, we have Fed member Waller speaking. So the only big news coming up today is really at 7 o'clock. I'll mark that up over here. So we got that coming up right there. Other than that, I think we're good to go. So let's go over here to the higher time frames. Let's see if we have a possible, breakout 2.0 coming today. I don't know if we will because we had a pending buy signal here. It's still pending. So, I mean, if it doesn't close, then we might be able to take it for a sell possibly. But it is not fully bearish right now because let's look at everything so far. The 1 hour over here is bearish because price is below the pivots. Trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. 30-minute is also bearish because price is below the pivots. Trend meter is red and the pivots are angling down. However, the 10-minute over here, which should be our entry time frame, is not bearish, right? The issue with this here is that we currently have price in between the pivots. I mean, long term, it looks like it could be bearish, but at the moment, it does not look bearish. We have about 3 minutes left on this candle right here. If this candle here doesn't close, if it closes with the buy signal, then there's definitely no entry. But if it closes without a buy signal, then there could be a possible entry here for the breakout 2.0. I won't be taking it because this is a Friday, and typically, market moves either really slow or either really fast on Friday. So the problem with this here is if you take the breakout 2.0 and you be stuck in this position for too long, you're going to have to exit it out, before market close, and that could be a bad position, depending on where it ends up when the market does close. So even if we do get a breakout 2.0 here, I'm not going to be taking it. I'll look for scalps within the move, but not going to be planning on taking the actual breakout 2.0. So this candle has about 3 minutes left on it. Market opens in about 3 minutes or so. So we'll see where this goes, and I'll mark it up if it does close. If not, then we'll just sit this one out. Let me just mark it up real quick and see what it looks like. All right, 1,500 pips looks a little too big. So let me see this real quick. Yeah, this would probably have to be like a 1,000 pip move or even less. But this movement is just way too big. It's still out of parameters here. So I'll mark it up, but I'm not going to take it. So we'll see where it ends up. But again, as I mentioned, I'm not planning on taking this trade at all. Yeah, it's just not really that solid of a move because it's not down below the pivots like it should be. Let's see who else is here. Morning, Fionia. Morning, Rashida. Morning, everybody. So, all right, guys, market is opening in about 2 minutes. We have the possible breakout 2.0 marked up here. But again, as I mentioned, it does not look like it's going to be an entry because we have a pending buy signal right there. We got to make sure that there is no buy signal there for entry because everything here is bearish. So we're looking for a sell signal. So if this closes with the buy signal, definitely no entry. If it closes without it, and then possible entry for a breakout 2.0, not a clean entry because price is not below the pivots. So it's not a strong overall trend across the board. It's a downtrend on the 30, downtrend on the 1 hour, but not on the 10 so much. So we'll see what happens when the market opens in the next minute and 20 seconds. Over here in the shorter time frames, we have news coming up here at 7 o'clock. That's pretty much it. But everything here is kind of shifting to the upside for a bullish confirmation. But I mean, we'll see. I don't know if this will actually hold because the higher time frames here are still bearish. But I think for the time being, there's a possibility. So, all right, guys, market is opening shortly. Let me check if there's any other news here on my FX book because typically they have more news set up on here. Just 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock, and that's about it. High impact news. All right, guys, market is opening in about 40 seconds. So possible breakout 2.0 here. But again, as I mentioned, I'm not going to be taking it. I'll mark it up for you guys, but will not be entering it here. It's not a clean entry because the overall trend here is not aligned. Actually, there is no entry here because the 10-minute here is not aligned at all. So confirm overall trend, bearish, bearish, bullish. Trend meter here is green. Pivots are angling up. Price is above the pivots. So no entry here for the breakout 2.0. All right, guys, market is opening right here. 3, 2, 1, market is now open. So I'm going to go ahead and mark up opening price right there. All right, there we go. Price drops down super heavy. So technically, if you took the breakout 2.0, it would have been right there, deep in profit. As I mentioned, it's not really a clean breakout 2.0 because there's no alignment across the board. And this was like, it had a pending buy signal pretty much the whole time. So I'll leave it at that and we'll follow it as price goes along, but I'm not taking it, of course. I'm looking for an actual entry here if price confirms, the direction of price. So let me go over here real quick. I'm going to go and maximize this and put the requirements for the strategies that we're applying. We're only applying 3 different strategies here: momentum scalp failure, momentum scalp variation, and momentum scalp. So put that right there, momentum scalp failure, momentum scalp variation, and the original momentum scalp. So, all right, guys, looking over here, the first requirement to confirm any of these strategies, and these strategies come in order. So you're going to find this one to come up first, momentum scalp failure. Then you'll see a momentum scalp variation follow it. And then sometimes the momentum scalp will either be with the momentum scalp variation or it'll be right after it. So these come in order. So for the first strategy here, and for all the strategies, we need to confirm the overall trend. Looking over here on the 10-minute, you can see that price was bullish on open. It's now currently swinging back to bearish. Same with the 5-minute over here. Price was above the pivots, and now it's slowly shifting down below. So we need to wait for everything to confirm. There's no confirmation of trend yet. Currently, right now, we have a pending bearish crossover on the 10-minute, and we also have a pending bearish crossover on the 5-minute. Here's a breakout 2.0. Looks like it's about to hit full TP. So if you guys took it or if you guys are holding on to it, it's almost there. Yeah, blasted right through TP. So if you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's okay. I didn't take the trade, so it's not going to count. But as you guys can see, it was super risky, right? They faked out for some buys here, and then price just ended up shifting down super duper heavy. So, and looking over here on the 1-minute, Rashid is asking, would that be considered a breakout? And let's see. Yeah, so the opening candle right here would have been considered the breakout because it has a sell signal. It's a strong red candle. So that would be considered the breakout right there, Rashida. Yeah, this thing is dropping super heavy. So if this here confirms, then we're going to start looking for some sells. But it's dropping down super heavy, kind of what we expected. You know, when I first analyzed it, I said everything was pretty much bearish and it was shifting to a buy, but it wasn't necessarily that strong. And you can see right here that it's now confirmed and it's dropping down super heavily. So we'll, you know, we'll end up seeing where this goes, but it does look like price will continue to, you know, obviously be bearish for the remainder of the period. But we'll see. I mean, price is swinging back up. So this is why you don't want to chase these moves, because you get this happen pretty often where price will like shift down super heavy and then it'll come back up for retracement. So we're not really looking for anything right now, guys. We're just waiting to confirm the confirmation of trend. Let's see, Maddie said 30-minute no red signal. Yeah, that was one of the main things too that I was looking at too, Maddie, because it was a bearish trend here on the 1 hour, bearish trend on the 30-minute, but it didn't have a sell signal here. Although it's not required, it would be ideal to have, you know, alignment of momentum and trend. That's typically what I look for. If I have momentum and trend, then the 10-minute here is typically going to follow if that's the case. So the breakout 2.0 full TP right there. If you guys took it, if not, it's fine. We're looking for some scalps here. So in order for us to confirm the scalps, we need to confirm that price is going to stay and remain bearish. Right now, we have a pending bearish confirmation on the 10-minute because price finally dropped below the pivots. Trend meter turned red. We're just going to wait for this to confirm. Same with the 5-minute over here. We're looking for this here to close below the pivots and for this trend meter here to stay red. It looks like it will, but you know, we don't want to hop into this and just jump into the trade without confirming anything yet. So first we need to confirm the overall trend. And then after that, we'll look for a momentum scalp failure. And then on top of that, we're going to confirm the momentum bias across the board as well. We currently have a sell signal here on the 10-minute already. And then we have a sell signal pending here on the 5. Actually, it closed. So we do have a sell signal here, and a sell signal here. So with that said, we have an overall direction of bearish trend and then also bearish momentum because we have price below the pivots, trend meter red, pivots angling down. Same with the 5-minute over here, price below the pivots, trend meter red, pivots angling down. Lastly, on the 1 minute here, same thing, price below the pivots, trend meter red, and the pivots angling down. On top of that, we have bearish momentum on the 10-minute. We have a sell signal right over here. And then we have a sell signal right over here on the 5. So with that said, we have a bearish confirmation. It's pretty much a strong bearish bias across the board. We just need to wait for retracement here on the 1 minute so we can look for entry. One thing to look out for is that price is right at sessions. So if you guys remember the red flags, We don't trade when price is near these horizontal lines. If price is near this red, green, purple, or blue horizontal line, we don't take any trades there because that's it's an area of manipulation, right? So you can see over here in the past, when price gets near these areas, right? This blue line, this purple line, this blue line, this purple line, right? When price gets near this area, you can see that price gets manipulated. Price will fake out to the top, come down, fake out, fake out, fake out, fake out before it makes that big move. So it keeps faking out until it makes that big move, right? And that's something that you don't want to get caught in because it pretty much just turns your entire trade into a gamble. So no trades around this area right here. We need price to drop a little lower and continue dropping to take our entry. Or if price does retrace up right here, if that's the case, price drops back below, then we'll make our entry at that point. But at the moment right here, no entries around these horizontal lines. I'll put the red flags right up here so that you guys can see. And here are the red flags when to avoid trades. When price is near sessions, it's going to be this red, green, and purple line. When price is near opening price, which is going to be this blue line. And when price is near news, which is going to be a pink line, which we don't have right now. But when news comes out here at 7, we'll have news price set up there. Let's see if there's anything else here. So let's see. Fruition Manifest is asking, how do I get the indicators? So if you guys want the indicators, go to our website. Our website is kodikaitrades.com. Again, kodikaitrades.com. When you get to this website, click on unlock your free access right here. This will take you to the page to unlock your access to the indicators. So depending if you want access to just the live Zoom, you can get access there. Or if you want access to the indicators, you can click to get access to the indicators and the strategies as well. So that's how you'll get access to it. Just go to the website, kodikaitrades.com. Either go to pricing or go to unlock your free access. It'll have all the breakdowns there, depending on what option you want. So, all right, back to the charts, guys. Again, as I mentioned, we currently have a bearish bias, but we can't take any trades around this area right here. So we need price to either push away from it, below or above. And then from there, we can start looking for some entries. But it looks like price is going to be ranging for a bit right now. Right here as price goes sideways. So as price goes sideways right here, we don't really have anything to take, right? We just got to wait for price to really confirm where it's going. So currently right now, we currently have a bearish bias. So everything looks fine for a sell. We're just looking for this over here to provide us entry. So we don't really need to look at the 10 and 5. We just need to focus on the 1 right now because everything's already confirmed for a sell. Yeah, no problem, Manifest. Let's see. Yeah, Kip said it would meet the minimum criteria for the original breakout, but when we used to focus on the strategy, we would only look for the breakout if market was negative 100 points, prices below the pivots, and retail sentiment. But even though today was a straight to TP, we might not have taken it if it was if we're a strategy we were focused on. Yeah, I agree with you too, Kip. It was just too risky of an entry. I mean, it looked like a sell, but the lower time frames weren't lining up. So like the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 10 were bullish on open. So we wouldn't have taken the entry. It was just too risky of an entry, and it went straight to TP anyway. So there's no room for late entry for us. So it's all good. That's kind of why I kind of swayed. I don't really take the breakouts as often. If the higher time frames line up, like the 10, 30, and 1, then yeah, of course, I'll possibly take it because this big move here has enough space to really make that move. But for the 1 minute breakout here, it's just a little too erratic and you're going for 500 pips. So like it can either go straight to your TP or straight to your stop loss. So it's kind of a gamble as well. Unless you have like some strong confluences behind it, which typically we don't for these shorter time frames on open. Yeah, because if it's dropped too heavily, like if it's super obvious that it's a sell, then odds of it having a retracement are very likely. So it's probably not the best time to take those types of trades. So it's really a double-edged sword. It's either you want the full confirmation and take it on the shorter time frames, or you want minimal confirmations and really be gambling it. So I don't like taking those risky trades like that. Yeah, Gary said, this is what I like in you, Sean, too honest. Yeah, no, and I try to be straight up with you guys, right? So, because I don't want you guys to take like risky trades. You have to be realistic with trading. Like it's easy to get lucky and and make a lot of profit, but you know, how long can you keep that profit? You'll see a lot of people like, and it's probably happened to yourself, you guys, when you guys trade, you guys will have like good days and good weeks, but how many good months have you had, right? Like you'll have good days where you make huge profits, and then there could be one day where you lose it all, like literally blow your account. The main key to this game is consistency. If you can find consistency, like what I'm doing every day, like I'm not taking like 100 trades a day, I'm taking maybe 1 or 2 trades, but they all hit, right? And then I'm just doing the same thing every single day. So once you guys find that consistency, that's really the routine that you guys need to mold yourself into. So like, for example, right here, there's a lot of entries that we could possibly take around this area, but I'm not looking to take anything here because it's risky. Like you can take a lot of entries around this area and make profits, but you know, how many times can you get lucky until you hit that bad luck strike? So for example, right here, we have a possible momentum scalp failure because we have a buy signal coming up right here. So first requirement, confirm overall trend. Everything is bearish on the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 10 minute. Confirm retracement momentum signal. We have a pending buy signal right here. So this is the retracement signal we're looking for. You also want to confirm that volume is below average. Looks like volume is below average here, but in comparison to like what was happening prior right here, obviously, of course, it's going to be below average, right? So if this here closes with a buy signal, odds of this being a momentum scalp failure entry is very likely, but I will not be taking it because it doesn't meet my criteria of red flags. So what I'll do here is I'll mark this up for an entry, but I will not be taking it because it's too risky of an entry for me to hop into. It's too close to the sessions right here. If price ends up getting manipulated down here, then, you know, we're basically gonna get screwed at that point. So I'll see if this closes here, I'll mark it up, guys, but I'm not going to be taking this. I'll be looking for the next entry, which will possibly be a momentum scalp variation or momentum scalp. So if a buy signal here closes, it will be a momentum scalp failure. But again, I will not be taking this trade because of these sessions right here. All right, so I'm still following you here. Everything here is still bearish. 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish. We still got sell signals all around. So we're still looking for a sell here. We just don't have a confirmation of, you know, possible entry at this point. Yeah, if you're going for 100 pips here, this would be a quicker move. But I think just to be on the safer side, probably wouldn't want to go for the 250. Just to survive any of the movement here. This candle is huge. All right, so I'm marking this up here, guys, but I'm not taking it. Just giving you guys a, you know, FYI ahead of time. So still no buy signal there, as you guys can see. It's still pending. That's even worse. When you guys keep getting these pending buy signals, it just shows that there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. If it was strong enough, it would provide the buy signal. But as you guys can see here, it's not really providing that buy signal because it can't really push that far. It gets to a point and then it hits some resistance and it comes back down. And you really want that to confirm before you look for entries here. Typically, if you get a straight shot, like a straight buy signal or a sell signal, odds of it pushing in your direction are very likely. So yeah, Maddie said it printed and went away. Cool. Yeah, Maddie hopped into it and then he pulled out for a small profit. Yeah, you don't really want to, and again, right there, it didn't close again. So as you guys can see, pretty much the past 5 candles here have been trying to close with the buy signal, but it hasn't had any luck. It keeps trying to close and then eventually it just ends up not closing. I'm just trying to figure out what the range should be for this. I think 25.50 would probably be the ideal range because it's got a lot of space here. And I think if it does come back down, it'll drop at least X amount. So looking at this here now, the trend for the 1 minute is not looking bearish anymore. So there may not be an entry for the momentum scalp failure. Price just pushed up too high. So this will probably be the last candle to make the attempt for entry. Again, I won't be taking this trade. I'll be looking for the next following trade. Probably momentum scalp variation. But I will mark this up just to see where it's at. Again, the candle did not close. Yeah, I think this thing might be swinging back down because it's not having any luck. It's trying to get that buy signal for like the past 6 candles, and it hasn't gotten it. So I think at this point, it's ready to, it's starting to lose its steam and it's starting to come right back down. Keep in mind, we still have news coming up at 7 o'clock too, guys. So just FYI. Looking here on the higher time frames, I think price is going to drop down super heavy because you can see right here on the 1 hour, huge wick off the pivots. Right here, double body on the 30-minute. I think price is coming right back down. So we just got to get past the sessions, really. I mean, that's the real thing that we're looking for here. I'm still looking for that buy signal because if we get the buy signal, we can at least catch it for like a small move. But yeah, it's getting really close to the news price right here at 7 o'clock. It's high impact, so you guys want to be very careful about taking entries around that time. Yeah, that can really screw up your position, existing home sales. I'm expecting this to be negative. So we'll see. Yeah, if you guys take any entries between now and news price at 7, you probably want to get in and out super quickly. So if you want to go for the 25.50, you can, but when price reaches like at least 100 pips, I'd move your stop loss and profit. So you could either use the 25.50, be safe, or you can use the 130 and make sure you get out like very quickly. You can see that there's no direction in price right now. Price keeps, it's just going sideways now. It has big wicks on both sides. So it's tempting to shift back to the downside, but it hasn't really confirmed it yet. So we'll see how this here ends up closing. And then we will, obviously go from there. So there's no entry for momentum scalp variation. In order to get this entry here, you still need a buy signal. So we haven't gotten a buy signal yet here. So we first need to find this entry here, momentum scalp failure. In order to get that entry, we need to get a buy signal. Once we get the buy signal there, you can now look for momentum scalp variation. So until we get this entry here for this strategy, you're not going to get an entry for the next strategy yet. So you're basically looking and waiting for a buy signal to come up right here. Once it comes up, you can look for that entry here. And once that closes, you can look for an entry here for momentum scalp variation. And then once you get a sell signal, you can look for momentum scalp. So these all come in order. We're still looking for this momentum scalp failure that still hasn't come up yet. All right. So still waiting for this buy signal to come up. I mean, let me take a look at the 5 minute. 5 minutes still bearish, 10 minutes still bearish. Going back to the 1 minute over here. So we're still looking for a sell here. The main thing here that I'm looking at on the higher time frames is that it does look like price will be coming back down. Let me clean this up right here. The 10-minute right here is rejecting off the pivot very strongly. We have a double body here on the 30-minute. It's a reversal pattern. And then the 1 hour over here, we have a strong rejection off the pivot as well. So I do think this is going to come back down. I mean, it's coming down right now, but we don't have any entries for these strategies. But I do see a correction back to the downside. And this sucks. This would have been good if we had. So here's what I was looking for, guys. If we had a momentum scalp failure up here, we could have either skipped that or took that trade. And then when price finally dropped back below here, we would have another entry for momentum scalp variation, right? So this would have been the 3-way entry right here. First entry would have been up here. Momentum scalp failure would have been down here, full TP again. And then we would have had another momentum scalp down here because possibly another sell signal would come up. And then we have another entry at that point. So this would have been our entry setup right here, but we never got that buy signal. So we couldn't take the entry, unfortunately. But this would have been a really good setup if it did close. We had the pending buy signal here. Everything here would have lined up perfectly, but unfortunately, criteria didn't get met. So if the criteria is not met, there's no entry. So you got to remember to stay disciplined, guys. I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking about FOMOing into these trades here, but it's not a good idea. So I wouldn't recommend FOMOing into any of these trades here. We do see price coming down further. So, it's just going to be some time until we have that opportunity to make the entry. But, I wouldn't recommend forcing any trades right now, especially because we have news coming up in 10 minutes and it is high impact. So just keep that in mind. With the news being negative later today, in about 10 minutes, I'm expecting price to drop even further. You might get some manipulation on start, but it will end up dropping at some point. All right, still on the first requirement here, or the first strategy, momentum scalp failure, no buy signal yet. That's going to be the main thing we're looking for. We need that buy signal, and then we can move on to the next steps here. Maddie said he saw an SR hit, but he didn't take it. Yeah, it's all good. So we got some profits over here from Kenny. Kenny took the breakout earlier this morning. You can see the timestamp. He took it at 6:30, locked in a total profit of 425 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. So it looks like some of you guys here did take the breakout. Kenny took it. Vincent over here as well took the breakout. Total profit of 71.61. Nice work, Vincent. Kenny again right here, 425. Let's see, Patricia over here. She's currently up 2,115 for the day. Nice work, Patricia. And then we have Narith over here. Narith took the breakout as well. Total profit of 8,090 for the day. Took this breakout right here at 631. And then he pretty much added a couple more positions as it continued to drop. Total profit of 8,090 for the day. Solid work, Narith. All right, guys, so we're just waiting for an entry here. Still no entry for us to take. Price again here is at the sessions. As you guys can see, this is another example why we don't take trades at the sessions, right? So you can see when price came down here, price got manipulated and it spiked right back up. So you don't want to take any trades around this area because whenever price gets near these sessions, it's just bad news, right? You'll end up getting caught in this and then you're going to be stressed out because you can't get out of your position because you're not in drawdown. So if you chase this move down here, it would have been difficult because now you'll be stuck in either break even or drawdown phase. It's getting close to news, guys. It's 6:52 right now. News is coming up in about 8 minutes. So we'll see where this goes, but there's not really much for us to hop into from now until 8. Still looking for that buy signal. Once we get the buy signal here, we can look for the momentum scalp failure. But until we get that, there's not going to be any entries for us here because we can't look for anything until we have this first entry here. These all come in order. So Keonia said, so when it's a buy signal, we doing buys and sells, or are we doing sells? I get confused. So Keonia, we're definitely not looking for buys here. We're looking for a buy signal to take a sell. So if you look over at the requirements, if I just ask you the basic question, what's the overall trend, right? Looking at the overall trend here, it's bearish, right? So there's like no reason for you to take any buys here at all. You'll be looking for sells only. If you look down to the second requirement, you want to confirm a retracement momentum signal, right? So this retracement momentum signal is the buy signal that you're looking for. It's not a reversal, it's a retracement. So you're looking for it to retrace and then you're going to catch on its way back down. So we're looking for sells here, not buys at all. Yeah, no problem, Keonia. I mean, if you ever get confused, just look at the overall trend, right? We're trading the direction of the trend. So if everything's bearish, there's no reason to take buys, right? It's kind of like standing in front of like a speeding train, right? Hoping that it'll stop. Odds of it stopping are not very likely. So main thing to look at would just be trend, and then make sure that you're trading that direction. And then also on top of that, if you want to look at momentum, that's going to be another confirmation for you. So everything is bearish here with regard to trend and momentum. So we're pretty much assuming that price is likely to continue dropping, which it is right here. So it's going in our direction. We are pretty much assume this. I did confirm on the higher time frames too. You guys can see it's rejecting off the pivot here, double body rejection right there. It's coming down pretty hard like we expected. It's just there's no entries for us to take. There's speculative moves that you guys can take. Like if you assume that price is going to drop at this point, yeah, you could have taken the trade, but it's not necessarily one of those types of trades that I would hop into, right? Because it's very risky. So basically what I'm looking for here next is I'm looking for price to come down a little heavier. So wanted to come down a bit, trace back up and continue down lower. So I'm looking for it to establish a new low, push up higher, and then come back down below because we can't take any trades right here, right? At the sessions. So the only way for us to go is lower. Because if it keeps bouncing around this area, there's not going to be any room for entry. All right, we got news coming up right here. I think we're going to get a big push on this news candle. So it'll probably be best to just wait it out and see how this ends up going. All right, we got another pending buy signal here, but it's way too close to news. So we do have a pending momentum scalp failure coming right here. But as I mentioned, guys, this is not one that I plan on taking or I recommend taking because it's just it's too close to news, and it's not low impact news; it's high impact news. That's all we're saying. Yeah, the news over here at 7 is existing home sales. So we'll see how this affects the market. But yeah, I'm assuming existing home sales is low because it's been low all year with the inflation rate going up and possible recession coming along. There's not too many people looking to buy houses. A lot of houses are off the market too. And I just know this from personal experience because I'm looking to buy a house, but it's just not a good time to buy a house right now, in California specifically. So looking over here at this signal, we have a pending buy signal again. But again, I'm not planning on taking you guys. I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not going to take it because we do have news right there. So this here is pending. We got about 3 minutes till 7. Let's see if this here closes. If it closes, I'll mark it up for you guys. Again, as I mentioned, it'd probably be safe to use a 25.50. And then if you guys want to pull out early for 100 pips, I mean, you're more than welcome to do that. Or if you want to move your stop loss and profit, you can do that as well. It's just having the cushion there, but I wouldn't take the trade here because there is news. So I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not going to be taking it. Just 100% not going to take it because it's too close to news right here. I'm hoping price stays below this area when news comes out so that we can have all the red flags all in one area. So we don't have to worry about it later if it's like way up here. All right, the volatility is kind of dying down a little bit here. Looks like a lot of people are getting out of the market, just waiting for the news to pass. Once the news passes, people are probably going to hop back in, and then you'll get an increased spike of volatility. But you guys can see how the candles are getting smaller and smaller. It's because a lot of people are not trying to trade around news. Everyone's just getting out of their positions now. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said the green signal has been trying to close for the past 20 minutes. Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty with direction and price. So, and right now with news coming up, I can see a lot of people are just waiting. The only people that are in the market right now are people that are looking to gamble, right? Because this thing can easily spike price. I mean, you can get an easy like 100 to 200 pips on this news candle right here, because it's going to move at least 100 or 200 pips, maybe even 500 pips. But it's really a gamble, right? You're basically taking a trade in a direction. I would probably take it for a sell if I was to gamble on it, because I do think it's be negative, but it might be manipulated on the open. So it might be manipulated up and then come right back down on open. Anyways, we'll see. It's exactly where I want it to be. I want price to be right here so that news will be right at these red flags. Yeah, exactly, Kip. 100%. You're right. All right, so news is coming up right here in about 15 seconds. I hope price stays around this area because this is where I want the news candle to be. At least we'll just be able to basically black out this area here so we don't look for any trades around that point. All right, news candle in about 3 seconds. 2, 1, news candle is now open. So let me go ahead and mark up news price right here. Not really a big push that I thought. It looks like a lot of people are just sitting out. So let's see. So news price was actually positive. Wow. So it was actually not as bad as I thought. So existing home sales last month for December were negative 7.9%. It's actually only negative 1.5. I mean, it's still negative, but it's not necessarily as bad as people thought it would be. People thought it'd be negative 2%, but it's still pretty much down there. it's not necessarily great news, but it's good news in comparison to what people were anticipating. So as you can see, price is coming back down. It's doing what we thought. We figured price was going to be negative, so it is coming down. So the numbers are still negative, but their assumptions were just a little bit off. But all in all, the news is still bad because obviously, the only way for this to be good news would be if this was positive. So existing home sales for last month, it dropped basically 0.05 million. So, and I think it's just going to get worse. I mean, as we get through the recession here, or whatever you guys want to consider it, I think it's just going to get worse. Anyways, looking over here at the other time frames, we're just going to go ahead and review everything again. So looking over here on these 3 time frames, the 1, 5, and 10 minute, we want to confirm the overall trend. Looking over here on the 10 minute, you can see that price is in a bearish trend because price is below the pivots, trend meter is red, and the pivots are angling down. Looking over here on the 5 minute, you're looking for the same thing, right? Price is below the pivots, trend meter is red, and the pivots are angling down. And lastly, here on the 1 minute, you can see that price again here is below the pivots, trend meter is red, and the pivots are angling down. So with that confirmed, you can assume that the overall direction of trend here is bearish, right? Looking over here on the higher time frames on the 10, you want to look for momentum. Momentum here has a sell signal. There's no buy signal after it. So momentum here is still bearish. Looking over here on the 5 minute, you're looking for the same thing, right? Price again here has a sell signal, no buy signal after it. So this is bearish as well. So just assuming that you've confirmed that everything here is bearish with regard to momentum and everything here is bearish with regard to trend, you can safely assume that price is likely to continue dropping, right, on the 1 minute time frame, because the 1 minute here is following these higher time frames, 10 and 5. So unless this here starts to shift to the upside, you can pretty much assume that price is likely to continue dropping lower and lower. So with that said, we're only looking for sells here, and that confirms pretty much all of the initial requirements for the momentum scalp failure, because this requires the overall trend, which is bearish here. So we're looking for a sell. Momentum scalp variation here, this confirms this requires that you confirm overall trend, which we already did. It's bearish. Confirm overall momentum, also bearish. And then lastly, on the momentum scalp, we're looking for the same thing. So pretty much all of these strategies here are like literally the same exact strategies. The only difference between them is that these require momentum, this one doesn't, and these over here come after each other because this one requires a sell signal while this one doesn't. So, I mean, we'll see where it goes. Right now, we have a pending buy signal. Again, on this candle, this pending buy signal has been coming up for about 25 minutes now. So it's been a long time before it's, since it's, attempted to make it close, but it just hasn't closed yet. If you look at this from a bigger scale, you can see that price is really just ranging around this area. So if I draw a rectangle right here, just the bodies, not the wicks, you guys can see that price is just ranging sideways. It's been ranging sideways since market open here, 630. So 630 candle is right here on open, price dropped below it, and then it got trapped into this range. So these wicks over here help you see the fake outs, right? Price push up, fake out, price push down, faked out, price push down right here, fake out again. So price just keeps, it broke into this range. It keeps faking out both ways. And if you look at it closer, you can see here that price is actually squeezing, right? It's squeezing. So what happens when price squeezes like this? When it gets to the end of the triangle right here, it's set for a breakout, right? So it's basically setting up for a breakout. It's squeezing tighter and tighter, but then eventually price is going to break out above or below very strongly. That's basically what we're looking for here. So I'm hoping it breaks below, and then we can start looking for entries down here. Because right now it's just not in a good area. So expect a breakout to happen at some point. I mean, price is ranging right here, but as it continues to squeeze tighter and tighter, it's going to have to break out at some point. Yeah, let's see. Rashida said quick scalps keep hitting for sells, but didn't take them. Yeah, no, and I've seen them too, right there, Rashida. Every time it hits a new high, it just comes down super heavy, right? Because it rejects directly off the pivots. So yeah, I've been noticing them. It's just a little risky. The 5 minute here is now setting up for a buy signal. So let me go over here real quick. All right, if this is the case right here, where we get a buy signal, this here is going to shift the momentum swing, right? So that's something to look out for. Pending buy signal here on the 5. The 1 minute is starting to push up super heavy now at this point. So this might be the correction that we were kind of anticipating. Not really correction, but I think this is going to be a retracement. And then I think eventually it'll come back down. Because looking over here on the 30 minute and 1 hour, it's still pretty bearish. So I think overall price will make its way back down. Right now it's just a temporary push to the upside. I don't think this will necessarily hold. And again, right there, it failed to close with the buy signal. Yeah, it's not really having too much luck today. I mean, today is Friday, guys, so just keep that in mind as well. Fridays and Mondays are like the riskiest days to trade because on Fridays you get a lot of people exiting the market. So as people sell off, people buy it for the dip, right? So there has to be an exchange in orders here. So basically, Friday is risky because you get a lot of people who are trying to sell off, so you'll see price dump, and then the people who see it for a discount will buy, and then they'll set it back to where it's supposed to be at. So technically, price is supposed to be up here, right? As you guys can see, this is where price, what originally was, this is opening price right here. So if it corrects up, this is like the actual price area. Looks like a bunch of people sold off here on open, then people bought the dip, and then now it's pushing back up right here. So unfortunately, guys, now that price is swinging up like this, we are no longer in a bearish trend. This is now a bullish trend, right? This here would technically, I mean, it would possibly have been the entry for momentum scalp failure if it wasn't pushed up so high, but it's just way too high up. So we're not looking to take this trade here anymore because the 5 minute here is starting to shift. So the 10 minute and the 5 minute here is starting to shift. The 5 minute here has a pending buy signal. The 10 minute over here has, it's starting to push back to the upside. So this might have a pending buy signal as well if it continues to push up even higher. So yeah, looking at this here, guys, there is definitely no entries for us to take at the moment. Yeah, like what CT said here as well. The volume here was above average, so would not be an entry for momentum scalp failure. So looking over here at the requirements again, guys, confirm overall trend. Overall trend is no longer bearish because price is now above the pivots. Confirm retracement momentum signal, that's present. However, this third requirement here, confirm volatility is below average. You can see down here that the volatility here, or the volume actually, was not below average. In order for it to be below average, this candle needs to be below, or this bar needs to be below this blue line. So it was above it, no momentum scalp failure there. Thanks, CT, for confirming that. All right, guys, so we're back to baseline. We have nothing to look for right now. Everything is kind of swung back to the upside at the moment. So we don't have any overall trend. So let me go over here real quick and I'll just review everything for you guys. So looking over here on the 1 minute, this is currently bullish, and it's bullish because price is above the pivots now. Trend meter is green and the pivots are angling up. So now the 1 minute is now bullish. Looking over here on the 5 minute, price is still technically bearish, but it's attempting to shift to the upside for a bullish confirmation, right? So with that said, we don't have a confirmation here yet for the 5. And then the 10 minute over here, same thing, right? Price is starting to shift to the upside right here. This is as a pending buy signal. We'll see if this closes. If this closes here, then we have to wait for it to either swing back down, or we need to wait for the confirmation of reversal. Going back to the 1 minute over here, you guys can see price is rejecting directly off this purple line, right? Another example why we don't trade at these horizontal lines. So you can see down here, all this messiness, all manipulation right here. So we don't trade at any of these areas. Same with this right here, right? Price pushed up, rejected directly off that purple line. This right here is an area of manipulation. Price can do one of two things. It'll either bounce off and come back down, or it'll break above and shoot through to the next level right here. So if you were to take a trade at this point, you're really gambling because you don't know where price is going to go. Obviously, you think price is going to correct back down, but this can easily just break out above it and test this next area up here. This is the actual price point. So price point for correction is going to be this blue line right here, because whenever there's an overall bias for direction and price starts to go heavily in the other direction, like for example, here was super bearish, right? Right here, we got a buy signal and the volume was above average. So if price continues to push in this direction, target price point is going to be opening price right here. So this is the area to look out for. So if price does break above, this is where it's probably going to reach. And then it might fake out like it did right here, right? just like it did right there. Price was already up here earlier. Price came down, faked out, came up, faked out right here, and it dropped super heavily. So definitely not looking to take any entries here. I'm still looking to confirm the overall direction of trend. Once we get overall direction of trend and momentum, then we can start looking for entry. We just don't have anything here yet. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. If there's any confusion with regard to the strategies here, just let me know. I'll cover them. I'll show you examples. We just have some downtime here because it's not an area where we want to trade. And then also there's no confirmation of overall trend yet. So until we get a confirmation, there's just nothing for us to take here. Here you can see on the 5, we do have a buy signal. So the momentum has shifted from sell momentum to now buy momentum. You can see there's a double body setting up right here though on the 5, right? So if this here closes, this is a reversal pattern. We have another one right here on the 10-minute as well. So we have 2 double bodies and 2 double wicks. These are actually double body and double wick. So if this here closes, I think this will correct back down for a sell. Yeah, so if these 2 close, there's a double body and a double wick, big confluence right there. That's a reversal pattern. It's a part of our variation strategy. So if you guys know the variation V1, this right here would be the variation. So if that's the case, then I think price will be making its way back down from where it's currently at. But it's just going to have to be, confirmed first. Yeah, the 10-minute right here has a double body pending. So if this here closes, then I really do assume that price is going to drop back down, and it'll probably drop back down to this area below here for retest. So I'm not going to jump the gun though. So you guys got to wait for this to actually close. This candle here still has about 2 minutes left. You can see here that it hasn't closed yet, but if it does close with a double body, my assumption is that it's going to continue dropping lower and lower from there. So you just got to wait for it to close though. It hasn't closed yet. Has 2 minutes left on it. I wouldn't recommend unless you know what you're doing. So if you know what you're doing, you can hop in for variation V1 if you really wanted to. But as I mentioned, you want to be very careful about taking these entries here, because today, again, another reminder, today's Friday. You don't want to be risking anything that it's unnecessary, right? You only want to take risks that are necessary. So if you don't want to hop in on the 5 here, you can also wait for the 10, because the 10 is going to be a bigger confluence, a higher time frame. But we'll see, we'll see where this ends up going. And then we'll pretty much, yeah, Maddie said if the 5-minute gives a sell on the way down, 1 minute will confirm for sells. And I agree, Maddie, 100%. So that's pretty much what I'd be looking for there. I mean, overall bias here is still for a sell. Like looking on the higher time frames, it's still a sell in the 1 hour, it's still a sell in the 30 minutes. So if this here does close, I think this is another confluence that price is likely to continue dropping. So we got about a minute left on this 5-minute candle. We'll see if this here closes with the double body. And then odds of it coming back down are very likely. But again, you have to wait for that thing to actually close. Yeah, so it looks like this might line up. If we get a sell signal here on the 1, then it's probably going to have that momentum to push down. I think one thing to look out for would be volume down below. If the volume down below reaches a certain amount, then I would assume that it's likely to continue dropping. Yeah, I think this will continue dropping from this point. No official entries here, but I think a lot of you guys are thinking what I'm thinking, right? Some speculative sells, which I did take. So I made a profit off this right here, guys. I knew this was going to drop lower, so that's why I hopped into it. It's not an official entry, so it's not an account. But if you guys know what I'm looking for here, we pretty much confirmed everything here. Double body, bearish on the higher time frames. We already knew price was coming down. We just needed that hint to really push price in that direction, right? This here closed right here, and then I took it down for a quick 100 pips. This price continued to drop. The main thing that I was looking at right here, guys, was the volume. I saw the volume here starting to increase, and I was like, okay, this is going to be the start of a push back to the downside. So I took that for a quick 100 pips. I locked in about 1,000. Some slippage across my accounts, but it's all good. So let me just show you guys a screenshot of my profit so far. I didn't really make too much, but I made a decent amount for a speculative move. Not too bad. It's not an account towards a profit though, so don't worry. There's no official trades that we've taken. So here are my accounts. Made 1,110 off my main account, FTMO copier made 860, MFF number 1, MFF number 2, and MFF number 3 made 710, and then my TFF gave me $400. And I'm never gonna get over this. I think every day you'll hear me rant about TFF because it's just crazy, but it's all good. It is what it is. I got to deal with them. I'm not going to open another account with them, so it's not a big deal. I'll just keep milking them for what they want to pay me for. Anyways, there are my profits so far. There's no entries for us to take right now, but we do have a bearish trend starting to confirm again. So if that's the case, we'll be looking for some more entries as price continues to move along. But this is anticipated for a Friday. Typically, I don't even trade on Fridays because there's no entries available. And as you guys can see, there's no entries available again here. I'm just taking speculative moves because I do know where price is going. Price is coming back down. So as we continue to wait for more entries here, I will look for another entry, but there's just nothing for us to take at the moment. What we're looking for here now is we're looking for a buy signal. If we can get a buy signal at this point, then we can take another entry. There's actually actually there isn't. So I was going to say there was a momentum scalp variation right here because price closed below the pivots, but there's no sell signal here on the 5, and there's no sell signal. Oh, there is a sell signal here, but there isn't a sell signal on the 5. You need a sell momentum here to take a momentum scalp variation. So let's see, Maddie took the trade as well. Total profit of 242 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. Yeah, I went with Maddie's confluence as well. He saw the supply right there, and he pretty much wrote it down. So what I'll do here, we have a pending sell signal here on the 5, which is perfect. That's what we need. We need that sell signal to close, and then we'll have a confirmation of momentum. But as you guys can see, we had that double body pattern right here, right? Double body pattern for a variation V1. If you guys are not familiar with that strategy is right here, right? Confirm overall bias. Everything here is a sell. Confirm a high low. There was a high right there. Double body rejection. This would be an entry for a sell. And there you go, full TP. So again, guys, if you guys are new here or if you guys have been around, you guys know that these are the only strategies that I'm applying officially. However, I have like 20 other strategies that you guys can apply. If you guys know my other strategies here, we have the variation V2, variation continuation, snipe strategy, daily strategy, intraday strategy, breakout, high-low scalp, triple confluence, etc. I have a lot of strategies here that you guys can apply. But that's only available to people who have the strategies. If you guys are here on the live sessions, I'm only applying these 3 right here because these are the highest probability trades. So like whenever we have these here, they almost always hit. That's why I only take these during the live session. However, if you guys are familiar with the other strategies, you guys are more than welcome to apply them however you guys like, right? You guys just have to keep in mind that there's risk involved with all of these entries. So you have to understand that you have to focus on what's important and what's not. So what I'll do here, is I will take the screenshots of my profits, but again, there's no official trades for today. I mean, this whole week's been good so far. All the official trades here have been hitting, and there's no losses for this week. So we're not really looking to take anything too risky to put that in jeopardy, obviously, right? So let me go ahead and take a screenshot of my profit so far. If you guys have any questions or you want me to cover anything, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to screenshot my profits real quick as we wait for possible entry here, but there's just no entries available right now. Price again is back below. However, it's right at the session. So in order for us to have some sort of entry, we need price to be away from this area. It's all red flags. All right, we have a pending sell signal here on the 5, which is good. It's going in the direction of our trend. All right. All right, so there's still no movement here on the 1 minute. Price is just bouncing off the news price. I mean, it's pretty much stuck there. Again, the area that I mentioned where we don't want to trade, basically this whole bottom area right here. This is a whole zone of, and I'll just draw a rectangle. It's easier to see. So basically this whole area right here is a no-go zone, right? Whenever you guys see price get down to this area, you can see that manipulation happens, right? Manipulation right there, manipulation right there. And then again, right here, manipulation right there. So if we get a buy signal here, it'll technically be an entry for momentum scalp failure. So again, right there, pending buy signal. If this here closes, it'll possibly be an entry for momentum scalp failure. But the main issue with this is that it's going to be cutting into the sessions right there, right? Depending on what your TP stop loss is. It's going to have to cut into the sessions down there. So this is going to be one of the obvious red flags where you don't want to enter trades. Red flags, when to avoid trades: when price is near sessions, which are down here, when price is near news price, which is also right there. All right, so again, right there, didn't close. We have a pending buy signal. This buy signal here is, I mean, it's kind of similar to what was happening here earlier. It keeps trying to close, but it doesn't have any luck. Looking over here at the trend though, on the 1 minute, it no longer looks like it's in a downtrend, right? So looking over here, in order for price to be in a downtrend, price needs to be below the pivots. The trend meter needs to be red, and the pivots need to be angling down. As you guys can see right here, we do not have that on the 1 minute. So without having the overall trend, we can't have entry here for the momentum scalp failure. So that's that for now. I'm going to go ahead and mark up, or I'm going to send in my profits for the day so far. Again, as I mentioned, these are not official trades. I just took this as a speculative move. It's just one trade. All right, so there is my account so far. Still no entry here. Buy signal still hasn't closed, but even if the buy signal does close, there's not going to be an entry because it doesn't meet criteria. So we do have a bearish trend on the 10, bearish trend on the 5, but the 1 minute over here is not bearish. Price is above the pivots. Trend meter here is green, blue, and the pivots here are actually angling up. So unfortunately, no entries right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I just posted up my profits. So here are my profits so far. Here's my main account. You can see the green strip. I let this one run to full TP. Total profit of 1,110 on this account. Here's my FTML copier locked in 860. Here's my MFF number 1, 710. MFF number 2, 710. MFF number 3, 710. And then my TFF down here, 500. So pretty solid profit. I mean, if you add up my profit so far for the week and for the day, it's not too bad. So 1,110 plus 860 plus 710 plus 710 plus 710 plus 466. Total profit of 4,566 for the day. For the week so far, here are my week stats: 70,300 plus 7,850 plus 7,150 plus 7,200 plus 7,200 plus 2,597 TFF. So this is total profits for the week so far, which is not bad at all. If I take my profit split times 80, my take home would be about like 31,000 for the week. So it's not too bad. So even after the split, it's not bad. And this is just 1 week. So we'll see how this continues on. But at the moment, yeah, there just isn't anything for us to take right now, fortunately. Anyways, let's put a little description here. Good. All right, I'll go over everyone's profits here as well. So we got scroll up real quick. We've got Vincent over here. Vincent is now up 150 for the day. He took that last trade with me, full TP, 78.70. Nice work right there, Vincent. Yeah, he actually took the sell right here, sell signal. He wrote it on its way back down, basically like a pivot scalp type entry. As below the pivot, took that for a sell, straight to his TP. Nice full TP right there, Vincent. We've got Jay over here. Jay took the trade as well. The sell, total profit of 392 for the day. Nice work, Jay. Solid. And then we got Rashida over here. Total profit of 814 for the day. All wins, no losses. Nice work, Rashida. Yeah, and good consistency right here. I see your profit, so everything here looks good. So nice work, guys. Not bad for Friday. Unfortunately, we still don't have anything official yet. We're still waiting for something to come up here. The trend here is no longer bearish, so we can't take this for a momentum scalp failure. As you guys can see, first requirement, confirm overall trend. Trend on the 5-minute was bearish. Trend on the 10-minute was bearish. Trend on the 1 minute here is no longer bearish. It's actually bullish. You can see price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green and the pivots are angling up. So no entry here for a sell just yet. You need to wait for price to be below the pivots. But in order for us to have that, price needs to drop down pretty heavily. Like price needs to actually be down here, which is a pretty big drop from where it's currently at. It's going to have to drop about 1,000 pips, which is a pretty big slump before we can confirm anything. Yeah, I know, Maddie. I feel you. Yeah. No, I feel the same way. So yeah, this thing right here, I know, 100%. More like high key. Yeah, I know, I'm not stupid. I see everything. Yeah, no, it's the trading space is funny, guys. Trading space is real funny. You guys will have like, you guys will see into it eventually. Yeah, no, Maddie said the trading space is hilarious. Yeah, you'll have a lot of people that like will admire you and look up to you and stuff, but then that's not really how they are, right? Yeah. No, and I've been in the trading space for a long time, guys. So I know how it is. There's always like two-faced people there, like all over the place, just trying to like pull knowledge from you and then do their own thing and then blow their accounts and then come right back. It's how it is in any group. So, you guys will see like the trading space, it's like a revolving door. You'll see a lot of people join a group. They'll learn from that group. They'll try to take it away and go to another group, and then they'll blow their account, come back to the old group that they originally learned from. And it just keeps going back and forth. It's like a cycle until someone like, that's why I always recommend that you guys find a strategy that you like, whether it be my strategy or your own. And then you guys just focus on that one strategy or that type of trading, because if you guys don't focus on just one thing, you're just going to keep having a good day or a good week and a good month, and then blow your account. And then you go and do another strategy, and then you blow your account again. And then you think you're so good, but then you just keep going in a circle. For me, I've been applying these same strategies for like years now. If you guys watch my live sessions, I haven't changed the way I traded. I've always traded momentum and trend. So I'm basically a momentum trader. I trade momentum with trend, and then now we've increased it with volume. And I've been trading the same way for like the past 5 years, every day live with you guys here. And that's why I'm so consistent, because I don't really change my trading plan. I trade the same way every single time. It's just a rinse and repeat of the process daily. Like, for example, here, we don't have momentum or trend here, so I'm not taking any trades, right? There's nothing for us to take here. I'm not like looking for these little entries to take here and there. I'm pretty much doing the same thing every day. So that's what makes me consistent and other people not, because you guys will see a lot of people where they'll go from trend trading, and then they'll go to counter trend trading, and then they'll go to like ICT, and then they'll go to like they'll trade all these different strategies, and then they never get good at one thing, and then they just end up failing. Because I've seen a lot of people, it's crazy. I've been trading live with you guys for 5 years, but I've been trading in total for like 10 years now. I've seen a lot of people come and go, and every time these people come and go, they come up with a new strategy. Like either they're trading order blocks, they're trading supply and demand, or they're trading It's crazy. It's just, there's so many different ways to trade. What I recommend is you guys just stick to one thing and master it. Basically what I did here. So looking over here on the 10-minute, yeah, Christian said, and then they trade harmonic patterns. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have, I know a lot of you guys, not just here, but in general, you guys have been from IC or whatever that place, what was it called? Not IC markets, IML. That was like the thing back then, remember? I remember in IML, it's like, bro, I'm trading like the institutions. I'm like, no, you're not. Everyone thinks they're trading like the institutions, but it's like impossible to trade like the institutions. They traded with so much volume and they like push price around. So like, I know a lot of people think they're trading like the institutions, but they're not. They're just trading. You guys are just trading the same strategy everybody else is trading. So if anybody ever tells me they're trading like the institution, I'm just gonna block you. Because that's like the dumbest thing ever. I always hate when people say that they're trading like the institutions. It's impossible to trade like the institutions. You might think you're trading like the institutions, but you're not. Yeah, C6 said the Wonder Woman and Green Lantern pattern. Yeah, Maddie said everyone says that. Yeah, everyone says that they're trading like institutions, but then again, they all lose. Yeah, it's funny. That's why I don't really try to get involved in the trading world too much. I mind my own business. I trade how I'm trading and I stay consistent the way I'm doing it. But I don't necessarily buy into the hype. Like you guys remember the hype before, right? Everyone used to trade patterns. That was like the main thing. And then the hype after that is now like, what do people call like smart money concepts? I mean, what's the next thing, right? Once that thing stops working, people are going to start changing, like they're going to start doing something different again. It just doesn't make sense. I think momentum here is probably the easiest way to trade because you're pretty much just riding the wave whenever you guys see anything. Anyways, we went off track for a little bit, but there's nothing here for us to take, guys. The 10-minute time frame over here is I mean, there's nothing here. It's pretty much neutral. Price is slightly above the pivots. Trend meter is green, but the pivots are like kind of right down the middle still. The 5-minute over here is currently bullish. So, or I mean, somewhat bullish. This first candle here swung above it and it is above there. So if these continue to stay above, so if the 5-minute stays above here and the 10-minute stays above here, then this will confirm that it is in a bullish trend or a bullish, yeah. If it confirms that it stays above there, it'll be in a bullish trend. But at the moment, it just hasn't confirmed yet. The 1 minute here is also bullish. So we're just waiting for this to confirm. The 1 minute here is leading, obviously, but the higher time frames here are still bearish. So looking here on the 1 hour, this here is still below the pivots. 30 minutes still like right in between. So long-term direction is still bearish, but short-term direction is currently bullish right now. We just need to wait for this here to actually confirm. We have to just be patient and disciplined, waiting for this here to actually close out. So let me see. Yeah, Kevin said, I agree. I just trade what I see, which is based off momentum and price action. That's been very successful for me. And I made tons of profit because I've mastered it. I just stick to what I know. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Kevin, 100%. I never knock anybody's strategy, but like the thing is, like, a lot of people don't stick to one strategy enough to really master it. Like, we trade momentum here, but you don't have to trade momentum. You can trade rejections. Like, if you want to trade support and resistance, that works too. You just got to stick to it. You're not going to have entries all the time, but when you do have entries, it'll hit. Scrolling up real quick, let's see. Yeah, CT said 85% of all trades are by algorithms, trade like a computer. Yeah, exactly, CT. Yeah, CT also said retail doesn't move market algos. Doesn't move market algos, do trade with them. Like K2, volume momentum is the footprint for the movement. Yeah, and I agree with you too, CT, 100%. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their trading style. Like for me, I'm not a swing trader. You'll see a lot of people swing trading. Yeah, people do make money from swing trading, but it's just not my style of trading. I like to scalp or I intraday trade. I like to be in and out of the position pretty quickly. Let's see. Charles is asking, how do you set your alert on TradingView? So to set an alert on TradingView, Charles, you right click on the chart, you click alert, and then you can set your settings there. So, I mean, if you have my indicator, you'll just go to the momentum indicator right here, and then you can set it to buy signal, sell signal, or signal fire, either signal. That's how I set my signal here. But you don't have the indicator, so you can't do this. You'd have to have my indicators to set this specific alert for momentum. If you want to set a regular alert, you can do that too. Like if you want to set a price alert, you can just right click on the chart and then set the price alert there. But yeah, if you want the alerts that I'm getting, you can't get them unless you have the indicators, because the indicators are what provide the alert. Yeah, Rashida said I'll have a heart attack with swing trading. LOL, no thanks. You know, and I agree with you too, Rashida, 100%. No, I've tried it. I've tried to swing trade. Well, you know, on my personal account, I forgot I had a trade open, so I guess I was swing trading. I had a Euro USD trade open from like a couple of weeks ago on my Hugo's Way account because I don't use it anymore. And I pulled it up and I was still in profit, but I looked at the movement and that thing was going crazy up and down like for like the past couple of weeks now. You guys can see here, yeah, from on the 4 hour, you can see from the 9th, price has just been going up and down. So I made some profit and I pulled it out, but I'm like, I don't have the stomach to really hold on to that position for like a week or a month. You know, some people do have that stomach to do it, but I don't. So yeah, another thing that I recommend is like, don't force a strategy on yourself if it's not for you. It's a uphill battle. Yeah, Patrick said, when I first learned Forex, it was swing trading and I hated it, and I hate it now. Yeah, no, same here, Patrick. I started off with swing trading too, because I used to work my normal job. Like when I was working as an attorney before, I didn't have time to be on the charts all day. But now I kind of figured out a way to trade for just an hour in the morning and then be done. So yeah, and it's less stressful this way too. We're kind of just hitting it out for like an hour and a half. If we see any entries, we take them. If we don't, then we just don't have an entry here anymore. Yeah, Robin said he found US30 trading Forex, and I don't even like Forex anymore. Yeah, same here, Robin. I feel like Forex is too slow. You'll be holding on to that position for like hours. And then whenever news happens, it'll just spike to your stop loss, right? So that's why I don't like Forex at all either. I typically just trade US30 because the volume is always here. Like the volatility is always there. So if you trade like from 6:30 to 8, you just focus during that period. You know you're going to win if you if you win or lose, and then you'll be out of the market between, or I mean like, you know, right in the morning, same time people go to work. Yeah, no problem, Charles. Patrick said, love trading hour days per day and be done. Yeah, exactly. Me too, Patrick. Yeah, I know, Rob. Those were the good days, remember? Robin said, do you remember when we used to do the 150 point dailies? Yeah. Like if you guys remember when I first started trading US30, we would only take one trade a day. It would be the daily entry. I mean, the strategy still works really well if you look at it, Robin, but I don't apply it anymore because I'd rather just scalp. But those days were like super easy because it was when Trump was president. So like if we got a buy signal on the 10-minute, that thing would go straight to 150 points, right? It goes straight up 1,500 pips whenever he announced something. You know, going back to the daily entries from, so let's see, the daily entry from yesterday, Thursday, which was right here for a sell. I don't know if this thing worked or not. So this one here didn't play out. But if you guys do it by the numbers, like if you literally go back, so like on Wednesday over here, we had a daily entry here for a sell, right? So the one from yesterday lost, but the one from Wednesday hit full TP. Like the strategy still works. It's just you have to take every single entry or you're not going to have luck because it's not going to balance out. But if you take every single trade, like this one here lost, this one here won, the one on Tuesday over here also won. Yeah, right here. So for this week so far, Monday was a holiday. So if you took the daily entry from Tuesday, would have hit full TP, took the daily entry on Wednesday, would have hit full TP, and then the daily entry on Thursday would have lost. So you'd have 2 wins and 1 loss for this week so far, if you were to take the daily entry. The daily entry for today is actually a buy. So price might be shifting to the upside. This is the daily entry for today. I'm not taking it, but just for demonstrational purposes. Also, we don't really take a daily entry on Fridays because market closes, by today. So your trade might not hit by the end of the session. So yeah, no, this was like the golden time for like US30 for these big moves, because it was so easy for us to just take these trades and then just let them run, like not even think about it. I mean, that would still stress me out too, though, because they were just long moves. Anyways, we currently have a bullish trend now, guys. So over here on the 10-minute, we have price above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. It's not a very strong bullish trend, but we do have a bullish trend here on the 10-minute. Same with the 5-minute over here. You can see prices above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. And we also have buy signals for both the 10 and the 5. So looking at the overall direction of trend, it's currently bullish. Also, overall direction of momentum is also bullish. So looking at this here on the 1-minute, we're technically looking for buys now. There was a moment, let me see this real quick. So there was a momentum scalp failure right here, but it was right at the session. So not one that we would necessarily take, because it's like literally at the sessions right there, right? I mean, not sessions, the opening price. So we cannot take this trade here because it's literally at opening price. And you can see from that following candle right there. So we had the entry that came up right here, too close to the red flag, which is opening price right there. You can see the following candle right here. It rejected directly off it, right? So this is why we don't trade at these horizontal lines, because you get fake outs around these areas. Price faked out right here, and then an even bigger fake out right here, right? Price pushed above it, hard fake out, and then price dropped down super heavily. So, I mean, currently right now, we're technically looking for buys, but there's nothing for us to take right now at the moment. There's a momentum scalp variation that's coming up right here. So this is another buy entry, but it's at the session, at the opening price. So we can't take that trade. But yeah, there's basically 3 entries that are setting up right here. So this right here would have been the momentum scalp failure. Volume was below average. So that would have been the entry right there for a buy. That actually would have hit full, or no, not yet. Almost would have hit full TP. And then this green candle right here would have been a momentum scalp variation, because you can see price close below it, close back above it. That'd be the entry for the buy. And then if we get a buy signal here, this would be an entry for momentum scalp. But again, as I mentioned, there's no entries for us to take here because it's right at the opening price. So unfortunately, no entries there, guys. And this is why you don't want to take the trade, right? You could have been in heavy drawdown right now if you took that trade there. So better to be safe than sorry. I've been burned by these trades so often, and this is why I for sure don't take trades around these lines. There's a reason why I created the red flags. They're just not random red flags. They're there for a reason, because I've lost trades around these areas a lot of times in the past. Nice, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie said he's up 7% for the past 2 weeks. I'm outros. Yeah, definitely, Maddie. So we'll see you back here on Monday, and I'll talk to you then. Yeah, let me know if you're going to come by, Maddie. We'll set that up. Yeah, Kevin said it rejected off the 50 moving period average. Period moving average on the 30-minute time frame is having a hard time getting past it. Gotcha, Kevin. Yeah, sounds good, Maddie. All right. Let me check. So Kevin said that Kevin has a moving average 50 on his. He's going to add it on here. I'm going to see what he's looking at. Moving average 50. Yeah, so it's basically like in the middle of my pivots right here. So this blue line right here is Kevin's moving average 50. It's right in between my pivots. So it's basically a little bit higher than my green pivot right here. Yeah, it is having trouble getting past it. So we'll see where this ends up going. I mean, if that becomes the case, then we're just going to shift back to a sell. Yeah, Kevin mentioned when price rejects off the higher time frame moving average, it usually continues in that direction of the trend. Yeah, and I agree too. Yeah, that's good Move average to use. So like when I first started trading, guys, a long time ago, I used to use the 50, 100, and one, or what did I use? I think I used the 50, 100, and 200 moving average. That's what I used to use before. And it was pretty solid. I mean, it was pretty on point. Yeah, Kevin said he used the EMA. The EMA is faster than the moving average. So like usually you guys can use them in conjunction with each other. The EMA would be leading, and then, well, the EMA would make more sense because you want to know what's happening right then and there versus the moving average, which is kind of slow. Moving average is used to identify the trend, but the EMAs are good to identify rejection points. So let's see. Still no entries here, guys. I mean, it's right in between the opening price and sessions right here. So, I mean, either way, there's no entries for us to take. It's like really right down the middle right there. Nice. Yeah. Kevin says he uses the 50, 200, and 14 EMA moving averages. Yeah, no, those are solid numbers. I think, yeah, usually the whole numbers are good. So what I would use before is I would use the shorter timeframes for EMAs, and then I would use the higher timeframes for the regular moving averages, simple moving average for trend. But I don't need that anymore because I have my trend meter now. Like back then when I didn't have my indicators, I had to like kind of figure out ways to identify trend, momentum, and direction of, you know, pivots. But now that I have my indicators, I don't really need them anymore. But yeah, no, they do take a lot of precedent, the ones that you're using, Kevin. Yeah, Kevin said he takes a lot of trades based off rejections and bounces off the 50 and 200. Yeah, those are pretty good numbers. Those are like pretty solid ones to identify the bounces on. These pivots here are just they're more fast paced, so they're a lot faster compared to those that you're using. But yours are like good for like more stable numbers or stable rejections, I guess. All right, so there's a possible buy signal right here, guys. The buy signal would confirm a possible buy entry over here. Let me just clean this up. I don't want this to be all messy. So we still have a bullish trend and bullish momentum, right? Prices above the pivots. Pivots are angling up. Trend meter is green. It's blue right here on the 10-minute. But I mean, for the most part, we can assume that the overall trend and bias is bullish. We have a current buy signal here that is currently pending, but it's not necessarily one that I like right now because it's right in between the sessions and the opening price. So if you were to take a buy entry over here, it'd still be considered risky because it's too close to these areas where we don't want to trade. All right. Now, well, this week kind of ended very slow. Let me check our stats for the week so far. So some more profits right here from Patricia. She said a little more today on another account. So here's Patricia's second account. Total profit of 2,620 for the day. Nice work, Patricia. Yeah, solid profits there. Here's Patrick. Patrick said done for the day and the week. Now I can take in the view from the sidelines. Yeah, exactly, Patrick. I mean, I'm pretty much doing the same thing too, because I don't really see anything good here and there's no confirmation of direction. I mean, this week kind of died down towards the end. It was pretty solid. Tuesday, Wednesday was okay. And then yesterday and today, it's kind of slow. Patrick over here locked in a total profit of 3,693 for the day. All wins, no losses. Nice work, Patrick. And then we've got Sisuk over here. Let's see. Sisuk is currently up 3,260 for the day. Nice work, Sisuk. And then again, right here, Sisuk's other account, 3,600 for the day, all wins on his US30. So solid work right there, guys. You know, looking over the stats for this week so far, let's see. So we've got, yeah, 16th was a holiday. So right here on Monday, we had one trade over here, full TP. My profits for the day were pretty nice. Well over, let me just delete this. I don't want you guys to think we're in a position. And on Tuesday, we had one full TP right here, 250 pips. And then we had a second trade right here, full TP as well. Third trade over here, full TP as well. So we had 3 back-to-back wins on Tuesday. On Wednesday over here, we had 1 right here, 2, 3 back-to-back wins right there. And then Wednesday was obviously it was kind of slow. I mean, there's no entries yesterday. So there's nothing yesterday. And then there's technically nothing official today either. But my overall profits for the week so far are pretty solid, yeah. 39,297 for the week across all my accounts. Yeah, Patricia said, hopping off, Sean, do not want to trade anymore. Yeah, probably best decision, Patricia. So we'll see you back here on Monday, guys. So Maddie and Patricia are off for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. It's getting close to 8 o'clock. There's no entries for us to take. Price is pretty much just going sideways between these 2 red flags right here, opening price and session. So if you guys see this closer, it's not really much going on. It's a sideways movement. It is Friday, so we kind of expected price to die down a bit. We typically don't even have entries on Fridays most of the time. So I'm not really surprised that there's nothing here that's come up. As you guys can see, there's no direction in price. Market opened right here at 630. Price dumped, went sideways for a bit, pushed back up for correction, and then now it's just going back sideways again right here. So there's not really too much to base anything off. I mean, price dropped right here super heavily on open. Trended up a little bit, but not sure how long this will hold because price is really just going sideways now. So basically price dropped right here on open, climbed its way back up. It's now back to where it's supposed to be. So this right here is just a big drop on open. And this here now is where price is currently at. This is basically, so if you go back to here, this is where market opened right here, right? So you guys can see that this here was basically just a bunch of noise. Price dropped below, created a bunch of noise right here. And then now it's right back to where it was originally. So market open right here at 630. This is market open. Price dumped, kind of messed around here a bit, and then now it's back to where it was. So it's like price really didn't go anywhere for today. So if you guys think about long-term investors, or you think about hedge funds and like a lot of these bigger institutions, what they did here was they basically dumped price down. They lured in all of the retail traders. So like they dropped price super heavy right here. And what do you think happened at this point, right? So when price dropped down like this, typically what happens, a lot of retail traders will think, okay, price is reversing. So what happens at this point is they all hop into sells, right? So they all hop into sells. And then what happens with these institutions and market makers, they push price right back up to stop everybody out, right? Because they bring it back to where it was originally. This is where market opened. They drop price down here so people would chase it. All the retail traders chased it. They lost all their money because price just ended up going right back up. And then now it's back to where it's supposed to be. So it's like price never went anywhere for today. So, you know, if you guys have been trading with me for a while, you guys see this pattern happen all the time. You'll see where price kind of drops initially on open, and then it pulls right back to where it's supposed to be opening price. And this is where you get that back to open term that a lot of people refer to, right? People always say, okay, price is going back to open. Back to open is right here, this blue line. And it's literally there now. So now that it's back to open, at this point, the market makers can now determine whether, okay, is there more traders on the bottom side or are there more traders on the top side? If there's more traders buying or selling, they're going to do the opposite, right? They're just going to spike price in that direction. So in order to confirm that, we pull up the sentiment right here, right? Sentiment right here indicates where all the retail traders are currently in position, right? So looking at this right here, you can see that it's currently 54% long. This means that 54% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So if that's the case, they're probably just going to keep moving it sideways because they're not going to make money off basically 4% of traders, right? They need this to be like above 60%, 65%, 70%, because when there's a lot of people on the buy side, they can dump price down and they make all that money off the people who are getting stopped out, right? You just got to basically reverse engineer the way that these institutions and market makers are trading. The problem with a lot of retail traders is that everybody's doing the same thing, right? That's why I don't trade like everybody else. If you guys see how everybody trades support resistance, right? So there's support resistance right there, right? There's a resistance point. What do you think people are doing right now? What are retail traders doing? they're entering sells right here, and then they have their stop loss right here, right? So what do you think happened to the people who entered a sell like right here? Because they're going for like a 10-1, something like that, right? They enter the trade there and then they get stopped out. As soon as they get stopped out right here, like what do you think their next move is? They're going to re-enter the trade, right? So they're going to, when price drops back below here, they're going to enter another sell and they're going to place their stop loss in the same place right there. So as soon as price comes back up, it's going to stop them out again. And they're just going to keep doing it over and over again until they finally think that the trade's going to move in their direction. But if the trade never moves in the direction, they just keep getting stopped out. So it's, for me personally, that's why I don't trade that way, because everybody trades that way. And it's easy to get burnt that way because the market makers know what you're doing. They know that majority of people trade support and resistance because that's what everybody teaches. For me, I trade momentum. So I don't trade that way at all. I trade the direction of wherever they are trading. Pretty much just ride that wave. But all right, so there's nothing for us to look at right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 7:56 right now. Unfortunately, I was looking for maybe one entry here, but there's nothing that we could have taken. If you guys took any of the momentum scalp failure, momentum scalp variation, or momentum scalp, let me just mark up the entries that came up here. So we couldn't take the trade here because it was right at the opening price. It's not an area that I like to trade. But if you guys did take it there, your full TP did hit. So if you guys took the momentum scalp failure right here, this strategy, the strategy did come up, but it was at a red flag, so I couldn't take the trade. So red flag right here, when price is near opening price, that's when I avoid a trade. But the momentum scalp failure came up right here, right? I'll go over the requirements here so that you guys can see it. Confirm overall trend. Everything here was bullish, right? So the 10-minute here is bullish above the pivots. Trend meter was green. Pivots are angling up. Same with the 5-minute here. Price was above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. And then here on the 1-minute, I'll just go and rewind to that candle. You'll see here that this was also bullish. Price was above the pivots. Trend meter is green and the pivots are angling up. So with that said, we could confirm step 1 over here, which is confirm the overall trend. Step 2, confirm retracement momentum signal. We had a sell signal right here. This is the retracement signal. Step 3, confirm volume was below average. Volume down here was below average. So everything was met, right? If you took the trade right there, that would have been the entry for the momentum scalp failure. So if you let that trade run, you can see it kind of bounce back a little bit, but eventually it came up and hit full TP. So that's one entry right there. The second entry would have been this one right here. So let me go back and replay this. This is going to be the momentum scalp variation. So now that we're done with this strategy right here, there's a second strategy that comes up right after, which would be this one right here, right? Momentum scalp variation. Again, we can't take it because it was right at opening price, but here you can see first requirement, confirm overall trend. It was bullish. Confirm overall momentum. It was bullish here, buy signal there. Going over to the third requirement, confirm price close past pivots, or sorry, number 3, confirm retracement momentum signal, which was right here, was part of this strategy. And then step 4, confirm price close past pivots and retracement. You can see these candles right here closed below the pivots. And the 5th step, confirm price close past pivots in correction of overall trend. This candle right here closed past the pivots above it. So this would have been an entry for a momentum scalp variation. If you took that entry right there and let the trade run, you can see it kind of bounces around a bit, but eventually it does hit full TP right there. So that's the second strategy. For the third strategy here, you're just looking for the buy signal to follow it. So going back over here, I'm going to go and replay to this candle right here. For the third strategy right here, confirm overall trend. Again, everything here is bullish. Confirm overall momentum. Everything here is bullish as well. So step 1's met, step 2's met. We have a buy signal on the 10. Step 3's met, buy signal on the 5. Step 4, buy signal on the 1, which is right here. That's the entry. Enter on the close of the candle. Let the trade run. And again, right there, full TP. So this is the entries that we were looking for. Our strategies here did hit. However, they're not the strategies that we would have taken because the red flag was unfortunately in the way right here, opening price. So I think that's about it. So if there's any other questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I pretty much covered what was supposed to play out today, but we couldn't take it because the obvious red flag right here. Sometimes this is going to happen where trades come up where the red flag is, but it's better to be safe than sorry, especially with it being on a Friday, because you don't want to dig yourself into a hole today and then you start revenge trading and over trading trying to, climb your way out before the weekend ends or before the weekend comes. So let's see. Peter said, thanks, Sean, for everything you do. Calling it a day. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Definitely, Peter. So we'll see you back here on Monday. Yeah, Kevin said, be careful if you buy here. Would be buying into resistance, overall downtrend. Very risky area to buy. Yeah, and I agree too, Kevin. That's why I didn't take the buys there. Even though they did hit, I didn't take the trades there. There's another possible entry right here from Momentum Scalp, but it's after 8 o'clock already, guys, so I'm not taking the trade. It's past my trading hours. So if this here does close with the buy signal, guys, it's technically a Momentum Scalp entry. Again, there's 2 entries here that came up. There's a Momentum Scalp failure right here with the sell signal. That would hit full TP. This next entry right here would have been a Momentum Scalp variation. And then this one over here would be a Momentum Scalp entry. Yeah, but this candle here is pretty big. It looks like it's due for a retracement. Actually, didn't even close. So the buy signal there didn't close. So there's no entry there for a Momentum Scalp. Yeah, the candle was too big and it also didn't close. So, all right, guys, I'm going to keep myself from getting FOMO and I'm just going to log off. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com. Or if you guys want to message me on Telegram, you guys can message me on there as well. I'm at Kodi Kai Trades. Otherwise, there's a possible Momentum Scalp that's coming up here, but I don't want to FOMO into this trade because I made a lot of profit for this week so far. Made about 39,000 total across all my accounts. So I'm not looking to take anything too risky here to like screw that up. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Got a couple more profits right here. Andreas locked in a total profit of 274 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. He took a buy here and then he took a sell. Solid work right there, Andreas. And then we have CSUK over here, 3,600. And now he's closing out the day at 4,410 for the day. Nice work, CSUK. Yeah, there goes the entry right there. I'm not going to take it, guys. I already know myself. If I FOMO into this, I'm going to regret it. So I'm not going to take the trade there. And Patrick over here as well. Patrick is now up 682.50 for the day. So nice work, Patrick. Solid profit right there. And here's Christian. He's currently up 846 for the day. Nice work, Christian. All right, guys. So great profits for the day. If you guys have any more profits, feel free to send them in. I'm going to go ahead and review all the profits as we get closer to the end of the session. If there's any other questions that you guys have, always feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I think this is it for the week. So if you guys don't have to trade, I'll just call it a week and pretty much close out the week with some deep profits. So other than that, I'll be back here on Monday, guys, same place, same time as we take on the final week of January. Let me check the news. I think there's a lot of news next week too. So there's a little bit of news, so there's PMI next week. Actually, there's a lot of news next week. There's PMI on Tuesday. Wednesday, the CB leading index. Wednesday, crude oil inventories. Thursday, durable goods, unemployment claims, GDP, and then Friday, PCE. So we do have a lot of news next week. Not necessarily a bad thing. Could be a good thing, actually, because price can be pushed around and it'll cause some volatility for us to enter some scalps. So, all right, guys, other than that, I think that's it. We're going to wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here on Monday.